allow the two children to have the budget.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now what?
Read the caption of this broadcast. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Maiyegun today.
Yes, we like you too. And yes, we like oh, Baba, and yes, we like DJ Badi, yeah. And yes, we like
there is a prison break in Suleja. There is a prison there. It's called the minimum security prison. So a heavy downpour yesterday, rainfall, collapsed the prison wall or prison fence. That's when all the inmates, the inmates bolted. 119 inmates escaped, 14 had been recovered. So Motide, yes, good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you and good evening to you from wherever you are joining me from. It is Maiyegun live. The picture on your screen, this picture, is the picture of Suleja's minimum prison in Niger State, north central of Nigeria. So we woke up this morning to the news that the people that are kept in this building, they were prisoners, right? But after, if you take a look at the image on the right, where you see that warden, that is the building, or let me say defense, that collapsed. Okay? Immediately the wall or the fence of the prison collapsed. Everyone bolted. 119 unknown criminals have escaped. This is not the first time that you are having this kind of prison breaks in northern Nigeria. But this is the first time that a natural, can we call it a natural disaster, enhanced or aided their escape. But their escape is not really my headache. Okay, it's my headache. All right. But the fact that 119 inmates that we have no record or no idea of their criminal record or why they are in prison, that 119 of them escaped, 14 of them recovered, and 105 currently at large. Possibly some of them will still be recovered, but many of them will never be recovered. And this is my own worry now, okay? Majority of them, they will end up in southern Nigeria with a different identity. And if they are actually indeed incarcerated because of something more serious like terrorism, you will never find them, like those who escaped from Kogi prison in Abuja. Remember, under Tifnumbu, Kogi prison or Kogi prisoners managed to escape, and the top leaders of Boko Haram escaped. And to this day, many of them have not been recovered. Some have returned back to the battlefront to go and join their comrades. Others, they have built their camps in southern Nigeria, the camp of kidnapping for ransom. Another thing there again is, if, since I was a little boy, I have had the picture of Nigeria prisons in my head, even when I have not really been into their prisons. Their prison is like incubation ground, okay, for criminal networking. All over the world, if they send you to prison, they send you to prison because they want to go and rehabilitate you from that your crime. So that by the time you come out of prison, you are expected to be a better person. If you go to Nigeria prison, you won't come back as the same person anymore, whether rightly or wrongly. Most of the people in the Nigerian prison are locked up, wrongfully. Some of them because they couldn't bribe the policemen, so they ended up in those prisons. By the time they come out of that prison, they are now ardent criminals. Apart from other terrible health conditions that you probably have to face as well. Nigeria prison. So I've had that in my head, like old, some of the prisons, they've had them as far back as colonial era, with dilapidated structures. You see, everything that is already ruined in Nigeria, you can take the prison service as one of them too. Like it is so horrible, right? That you would be like, no human being should be housed in any of those their prisons. But they are still there. They are budgeting billions, hundreds of billions for rehabilitation for funding of their prison. At a point, they even told us, they said that to feed a prisoner in Nigeria, it cost them 14,000 naira a day to feed prisoners in Nigeria prison. That was what Layamo told us, remember? And when you look at all these prisons, apart from the fact that they are totally, inhabitable for humans, then you have another problem, which is the overcrowding. In Nigeria prisons, you have people who have been in those prisons, in their prison there, right, for more than 5 years, 7 years, 14 years, awaiting trial. People that could possibly have been, if they had had their days in court, they probably would have been let go by just mere payment of fine, But anyway, they shall camp everybody in there, including terrorists. Some terrorists are hidden in some of, when I say terrorists, I'm talking about all kind of terrorism, Some of them are hidden in those prisons, right? Without the rest of the country knowing where they are, because they can easily, secretly release them again. So now we are looking for 105 escapees that we have no record on. They are probably already in the south, Lagos to be precise, or somewhere more remote. Here is what their Minister of Interior had to say. Olubunmi Ojo, àwọn èèyàn better edu. The guy you are going to see on your screen right now is the Minister of Interior in Nigeria, responding to this jailbreak. He is the guy whose company collected over $600 million. 600 million naira from Better Edu just to consult for the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs so that they can go and check and create register of poor people that they will give money to. So that consultancy job is what is his company got, but he said his wife is the one in charge. Okay, his wife got over 600 million naira from Beta Edu for doing nothing. But he is the minister. He still has his job. So he was there today in reaction to the prison break. Let's go there.
Can you tell us what you have observed so far?
Well, obviously because of force majeure, the storm that happened, there was a breach of the outer wall of this facility, and some of the inmates, escaped. And of course, we've been able to retrieve, get about 10 back out of the 119. So we have 109 at large, and the manhunt is presently ongoing. We will do everything humanly possible to make sure that everyone is brought back. That's number one. And number two also is that we've also looked at the cause of the matter, because we must make sure that this does not happen again. And how can we prevent this? Obviously, we can see the walls are actually old, and unfortunately, there are certain responsibilities that we must take. And but the most important thing is we'll do everything possible to restore sanity and to ensure that this does not happen in any other facility. And also, the president has also always been talking about urbanization eating into our correctional centers. And this is a clear testimony. You can look at the environment. It shows that we need to relocate a lot of our correctional centers, and we need to relocate them away from city centers, and to create better space, better security, and better infrastructure. But as we've said, we're not here to make excuses. We are here to take responsibility. We were elected as a government to do a job, and that job we are prepared to do regardless of how difficult or how tough it is. But we want to assure you that we are talking to sister agencies to make sure that we are able to synergize, collaborate, ensure that there's timely return, of these escapees, and you can be rest assured we'll put everything in place to make sure that this does not happen again.
Honorable, how many there escaped now?
I said 119 escaped, and 10 had been gotten, so we still have 109, at large. And let me say this was a facility that was built to house 250, and obviously because of before the incident that happened, we had 499. This goes to what we keep talking about overcrowding in our correctional centers. So this is, as much as by the grace of God, I'm very optimistic we'll solve this problem, but it also gives us probing questions, and it's in every crisis, there's always an opportunity for greatness. So it's for us to, as a people, as a country, to also be able to sit down and critically be able to fashion out a correctional system, that will work for us and to the benefit of all Nigerians. But as I've said, there are a lot of things that I won't be able to say on camera, even with the correctional center, with a lot of reporting lines and a lot of issues. We will handle those things behind the scene and make sure that, as I said, this could have been avoided if the right information, at the appropriate time had been disseminated with regards to the structure, with regards to this incident. But of course, we are not here. As I said, I wasn't appointed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to make excuses. I was appointed by him to take responsibility, and we are not shying away from this responsibility. We will take it, and we will get them back, and we will secure our correctional centers and make sure that this doesn't happen anywhere else in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Sir, please, we've seen some immediate interventions in the NI, the immigration, and as regards even welfare of officers within your ministry. How soon are we going to see things happen? There are some facilities, being developed.
The point here is that we're here for correctional centers. And when you talk about, this is a national issue, and something that borders on national security. It's a sober moment for me as a person. So also I believe it's a sober moment for all of us, and even our men in uniform. We've done a lot, but things like this, could, pull us back a bit. So it's a sober moment for us, and I sincerely think we need to concentrate and focus on the issue on ground, and put all our energy into making sure that we solve this problem as soon as we can. And about welfare, I don't think any of our officers are complaining, because we are doing well. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been so magnanimous in making sure that he takes care of the welfare of officers. And I think it's not my responsibility to show their payslip, but I think this government has done.
All talk. Olubunmi Ojo is the interior minister in Nigeria. And the first thing is, listen though, they said that the facility or the prison has about 250 inmates. Abi? I don't believe that. They were actually like more. Okay? But let's work with that number. So what that simply means is that about 100 and maybe 140, 130 didn't run at all. So then we have to relocate them to Borno State. I don't know where the prison is in Borno State, so to say, right? But yeah. So Olubunmi Ojo, then they were kind of talking about, the welfare of the officers who are working in the prison and all that. Don't let us even go there, okay? Like when I'm talking about the rot that is within their prison service and the corruption that is embedded in it, we can spend the rest of this evening just talking about that. I am worried. So should you. I am worried because these guys are so untrustworthy, so dishonest, that if you take any of their word, beyond just being mere words, you may be their next victim, because you may think they actually mean anything they are saying. Good enough he was there, as he should be, since Kolu is not around. So everything there is just for the face off of it. I am worried about those criminals in that place that they won't tell us. Because to them, they can't tell us, who are already following their cows or following their tomatoes or following their trucks, whatsoever, down south as we speak. Listen, I'm not trying to sort of scare you. The end, everything in Nigeria is already scary, except if you are lying to yourself. I'm just trying to make you see beyond reading the headlines. Because after the headlines, once the camera is off, once everybody is gone, right? The real problem will start. The one they won't tell you. The reason why everywhere you turn to in Nigeria today, it's like you are turning into danger, left, right, and center, is because of a situation like this. Nobody tells you anything. Because they know that after 2-3 days, you're going to forget about this. How many of you still remember that Kuje prison break last year? On that Ifnumbu? How many? Anyway, for those of you who might, I have this one philosophy though. I'm not living in that contraption, so I won't really be affected directly, but I do have family and loved ones, friends and, associates that I have in that place too. That personally, I can feel that if anything happens to them, then things happen to me indirectly. So if you see something, say something, be aware, self-awareness, be aware, see beyond the headlines, read beyond the headlines. Do not listen to these rogues, these pretentious rogues, because they do not have any answer. no answer or solution to the problems that they created. I've said this many times. You cannot believe that the people that created these monumental problems called Nigeria, and who have benefited immensely from this failed country, it will be very foolhardy and stupid of you to believe that any of them has anything in their mind to fix this. Oh, yeah, they can fix it. No, they can't. Fixing Nigeria simply means that these guys should just report themselves to the nearest prison facility and ask the the wardens in those prison areas to just lock them up, even without any trial. That would be the beginning of saying, oh yeah, they said they want to fix Nigeria. They can't. No, they can't. Then going forward, the news that we are hearing now is that PZ, you know PZ now? They say PZ is leaving Africa. And it is because their biggest supposed invested area or target market is Nigeria. Nigeria at Idoloshi. People have become too poor. They can no longer afford real thing. In the truest economic sense, your number don't make any sense to any real businesses anymore. The biggest country in Africa, the population of this or that, it is the population of destitutes. So bigger and bigger of them, they are living after years. This one, they said it's been in Africa for 140 years. They would have to go. But that is actually not it's not the big thing that I want to discuss with you. It is just like another sober reflection thing too, right? Let me point to it. When you look at all this, starting from the Lever Brothers, the Royal Niger Company, and then back to, when they started sharing what you can call the influence of these foreign investors or foreign companies, especially those in manufacturing, those who are producing things that a lot of us grew up using, liquid wash, toothbrush, baby powders, baby this, all that stuff that we grew up. For example, PZ, PZ, who have the powder, they have a body cream, lotion, they have body jelly, all that stuff, right? And they have been around for decades. They have enjoyed what you can call some diplomatic bilateral trade, they call it bilateral trade protection, which makes some of the African countries, for these supposed foreign businesses in Africa, to have seen, after slavery, then the next thing is labor. The kind of labor market in Africa is so cheap because they made it so. Listen to what I'm trying to put together here, okay? Talking about all these big companies who are now kind of capitulating. They are now leaving because the governments of Nigeria and some other governments in Africa, they have destroyed their country so their people have become so poor. Their economic power has become so dwindled. Like, you have a country, you have a lot of people, but they're like destitute, who can barely afford anything to eat. Talk less of, patronizing some of this, except for us, those who have possibly stealing your money and all that. But that is not the point. Here is the point. When you look at, for example, PZ, I want to believe that it is a British company or American company. It doesn't really matter. But it is not a Nigerian indigenous company. But it has been in Nigeria for years. When the middle class existed, when people who were working, whether you are civil servants or whether you are privately employed, but you are a regular income earner, the middle class that could afford to send their children to school, not just in Nigeria, even outside Nigeria, where the system allowed them to be able to acquire homes, houses, cars, and things that actually makes life meaningful and participatory, a participatory economy, where you didn't really have to be so rich before you could afford basic things. Then gradually, slowly, IMF, World Bank, roguish different governments that have succeeded in Nigeria, especially in the last 10 years. America conspired. Britain backed them. And they said, a PhD holder is incompetent to run a country, an economy they said was the third fastest growing economy in the world in 2015. Then they conspired and they brought an illiterate, lifeless Maiyegun, who then came, implemented horrible policies that gradually and slowly and gradually almost wiped out the middle class, to the point that the margin has now shifted. P&G too, God bless you. There is P&G too, Procter and Gamble. So they made different policies in the last 10 years that saw people and their own, and their life savings, investments, quartered. Economic policies that impoverished people, not because they make any stupid investment decisions, just being in Nigeria. And once they began these policies, starting with America, bringing in and, using all they could to ensure that APC, Egbekegbe, took over Nigeria. Now, in 10 years, or almost 10 years now, there is completely no more middle class. There is no middle ground anymore. You are either very rich or you are very poor and belong. Policies of government where they were going left, right, and center, looking for who to borrow money from, devaluing your currency, devaluing your naira over time until businesses died, jobs died. And some of, I don't know, like when America and the rest of them were doing all of this, I don't think they thought about their businesses in Nigeria, businesses that are like everyday life of an average Nigerian. You want to buy Homo, you should be able to afford it. You want to buy cornflakes, you want to buy, Pampers, or you want to buy this or that. You want to buy things that are like your normal basic need every day, but now you can't buy them. And they too can make money. And gradually, they are folding up. So you see, it is not just us. You see, when we were talking about, when we're talking about corruption, okay? And we say, some will say, if now you too, Maiyegun, if now you too, if now you they make a governor now, you will do more than this. Just to justify whatever criminal mind you have, projecting that on others, but forgetting the consequences of criminality in government is not even limited to the victims you are thinking. Yeah, it's not limited. See, the rogues who are stealing your money, your big men, it is just because they are short-sighted. They do not have any foresight. That is why they see looting you, stealing from you, building mansions inside shanties, driving hundreds of millions of naira worth of automobiles, billions of naira automobiles on untarred roads. At the end of the day, Money that is meant for provision of education, they've stolen it. So they decided to give you adulterated education. And where do you think that will leave you? Adulterated education will give you quack doctors that will work and kill you. Adulterated education will give you quack lawyers that will argue and send you to jail. Adulterated education will give you adulterated engineers. They will build houses and the houses will collapse. Adulterated education will bring in policemen, military, officers whose job is to protect you. They will turn the gun on you. Adulterated education. So they will take the money, buy properties abroad, buy properties here and there, deny millions of you proper education that can really help you. So 10, 15, 20 years time, some of you will turn to terrorists. Some of you will turn to fraudsters. Some of you will turn to assassins. Some of you will turn to politicians to make the situation worse. At the end of the day, none of you will turn to something that will be productive for the entire country. None. Rather, you will be looking for a chance to take your own shot. No be so? So, also, the money meant for healthcare, they've stolen it. They themselves have no access to healthcare. In their greed, they do not know that it is safer to use the money meant for medical care or health care to actually build the healthcare facility, so that when they have heart attack or they are robbed, they are attacked by armed robbers, or they are attacked by kidnappers, the people who are the product of their own corruption, they can at least have access to healthcare just about 30 minutes, 20 minutes away, instead of waiting inside the plane for 6, 7 hours to go and see a doctor in Germany, to go and see a doctor in London. So at the end of the day, corruption will pay those who are thinking corruption is paying them too. Of course, you don't have access to that money, so you can really be very hungry. Those who have access to money are also doing the damages to themselves, damages that will also kill them. That's what corruption does, in truest sense. So it is the same way. This time around, this one is not for you. It is for our imperialist puppet masters, the ones that will give the criminals in Nigeria every requested loan that they know they will steal, but because they know they have millions of people that they can put the debt on, and in perpetuity they can serve, we can serve them. So their own businesses will be dying. That's the bottom line. The end of Nigeria is going to happen in a way that even those imperialists, Britain and America, they themselves, they will feel from the collapse of Nigeria. And there is, somebody said that the collapse of Nigeria will not be televised. It is going to be streamed live. And everybody go collect. So, PZ is leaving. They said Nigerians have become so poor. They don't think their business can survive anymore. They have been running at loss for the past 5 years. They have been struggling. Everybody Loma collect. You remember that one? Last, you don't cast. Now everybody go chop breakfast.
You don't cast. Last. Everybody go chop breakfast.
Not just that, if you don't understand it in English, Yoruba version day. No.
Gbogbo ala ma jẹ breakfast. Àsìkò tó ní kálukú máa jẹ tiẹ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni. Summa billahi.
So when I heard that, I know that automatically just means job losses. There are those who have worked with these companies for 20 years, 30 years, 35 years. they would have to just pay them off. Those are going to be lucky ones. Some won't even get their money. So gradually and gradually, they would have to pull out. And normal, that should be an opportunity for the thieves in Nigeria. At least they want to own Nigeria. It's an opportunity for them to own Nigeria now. I was with my friends yesterday, and we're just having this random talk, okay? Then I said, Baba, wait, all these guys who are stealing this money, who are printing money, and every time they sense that there is some forex in Nigeria, dollars will just land, they will find means to steal their dollars by using their worthless printed naira. Like they could do that. They could just go and print money and then, use it to buy dollars. I said, Baba, at the end of the day, this whole money that these guys are stealing, this money they went up in Cayman Island. All right? They went up in all this, I said, but Baba, the money is just going to be there. Why can't they just, if I steal money in Nigeria, no, I can't steal your money. I don't have liver for that. Seriously, I don't. And that's why I won't even join. But say if I join them, I'm automatically going to become a thief. I've seen people who said, you see, Maiyegun, we need to join them and change the system from inside. Baba, a year after, these people will won't go change the system from inside. A year after I saw them, so now the system changed them. Alaya, come the system never changed now. You don't did there for like a year. No, my brother, it's not easy. It's not easy. You see, when you are not inside, you think it's easy. It's not easy. I know better now. Olori Bruku to join one year. And that's why I'm always like, don't ever join them. You should, by all means, try to stay away. But again, let's assume, say, I joined. Now, me and my friends, they talk yesterday. I said, let's assume, say, I joined them and I can't manage still. For example, now, your former accountant general, that guy that has become, that was given somebody stole 184 billion. Accountant General of Nigeria. He stole 184 billion. When he was arrested, he was given bail. A week after, the Kano Emirates, they gave him 2 titles, 2 chieftaincy titles in Kano. One of them is a man who understands management of money. The man that will manage the Kano Emirates finance, that kind of a title, they gave it to him. Now, people, 184 billion naira. And that's what they kind of found that is missing. Maybe it's probably like ×4, ×5 of that he stole under Bokuwario. Let's assume, say, I steal 184 billion, Baba. I was telling my friend, I said, Baba, I can just, if I don't move the money, go Cayman Island, all these places. I will just go and I will just call somebody and say, well, you know what? Let us go and invest the money back so that I can take electricity to Nigeria and claim the money. It's not stolen money. So I will just go and look for a British or American company who is good in electricity generation and distribution and all that, clean energy. Okay. I'll just say, can we partner? You have the expertise. I've got the money. I will give you $500 million. Say, I stole the money. Abi? But now people's money. I'm just saying, a God-fearing thief. That's what I mean. Like, if I'm a thief now, I've just stolen about 200 billion from the people. But I'm a kind of a God-fearing thief. So I just want to return the money, but it's still my money, but to help you. So I said, I'll just say, okay, I'll give you maybe $500 million. Then we can go to Nigeria, and we can go and build the biggest power station and power generating station. And me, the repentant thief, will just start selling electricity to all of you. See, if everybody can't discover later, say, the 24 hours electricity way all of the states in Yoruba land enjoying, all of the states in the East enjoying, all the states, countamo, 5 states in the East, 6 states in the Niger Delta, 6 states in Yoruba land, 6, 6, 12, that's about 17 states, Abi. 17 states in Nigeria, they enjoy 24 hours electricity, the cheapest. If you find out later, say, now your money, this guy stole, go build so and so. Even my friend said, but no, if you do that, and they find out, nobody only say you go jail, they will take the money. I say, Papa, wait, I'm trying to be positive. Come on. That's what I'm trying to say now. Okay, is it possible or not? Even my face will not show at all. But this was me thinking of, okay, how can you get 24 hours electricity? Because I'm wondering how it is so hard for them to actually give you 24 hours electricity. So I can say, okay, all these thieves, these companies are living now, they can bring the money back now. Like invest in the critical infrastructure, own it. Instead of using the government money that you gave to Dangote. Now, Dangote is doing Father Christmas, thinking, a lot of you think is reducing the price of diesel that he imported. As the kind-hearted man. In another few months, you will hear the story of how much hundreds of millions of dollars paid to him so that he can help you reduce the diesel price. So I said, why don't you just use the stolen money? Use another means to bring it back. Invest in critical infrastructures. Okay? Invest in them not because you want to make profit per se. And then if you die, you can possibly expect God to forgive you. My friends were like, oh, Benny, make imagination not kill you. And they were right. There are many, many of us who believe that it is not a rocket science, okay, to actually make things work. If you give them electricity, the people will build their lives. I have seen the resilience of Nigerians across board. But you see these rogues, they have no solution. And since they do not have any solution, you are just going to have to live on these vibes and inshallah under these criminals. There is a topic I want to pick on, talking about maintaining government institutions, infrastructures, public infrastructures rather, that really serves the purpose, that should be serving the purpose why they are set up. So there has been this argument started. In fact, it wasn't an argument. It was actually a propaganda started by Renu Mokri and APC, Egbekebe. In case if you don't know, the reason why I told you yesterday that I will continue to show to you every content, every move of Peter Obi and the obedient generally. I will amplify their voices whenever they are taking on the Agbadomaiti and the Agbadoriancy. The reason is because the least you can do right now, that you can say you are doing something right, is to never go and stand behind a state-sponsored, orchestrated propaganda that doesn't even make any sense to start with. But they are driving, they are pushing it, and that's how it works. And before you know it, you have to say, yeah, it's true. So they have this conversation. You know that in 1999, Tifnumbu became the governor of Lagos State. In 2007, Isaleko Barack Obama, Ajangbadi Albert Einstein, Fashola, he became the governor. In fact, APC, Egbekegbe were using Fashola's template as a Lagos State governor, as a template of what they will do when Bokwari become your president. Meanwhile, all of that are just what you call the work of propaganda. It works so well. There are so many people, right, that actually believes, okay, that Fashola is one of the best governors in Nigeria. That's how propaganda works. But at the same time, the statistics shows otherwise. Despite their access to the highest, highest amount of resources when it comes to development, these guys were what? They were developing their personal lives. And that is why Lagos remains the mega city, the mega slum of Africa. 24 years, it became impossible for them to even enhance that kind of resources, because Lagos is like a country of its own. If you kind of like have good managers in charge, not these criminals, these thieves. Well, the propaganda have lasted for so far too long that a lot of people actually believe that. Anyway, it is on record that in Nigeria, the criminal politicians, they have few ways of looting the treasury with what they believe an undetectable technique. They can start construction of needless new roads while the existing roads remains death trapped. And they have this mentality too. If I complete the project of my predecessor, he's going to take the credit, and what am I going to show to people as my own? And that is why, despite the poor state of Nigerian universities, Bokwari still created over 20 new universities that were not even like completed, talking about, proper setup and all that. Also kept fighting them and fighting and fighting, you need to spend this money on the existing schools. Schools where you do not, if you go to Nigerian schools, you can easily tell, well, except for some intervention from private individuals who do go to those places and offer things, right? The government always open the door for they always open a new door on how they can, siphon their own money. So they started something, and it was, what do you call it? Okay, hang on. So in 2007, Peter Obi too became the governor of Anambra State. For 24 years of democracy, it is still being said, even though a lot of people are already saying, this is not even something we should be proud of, be bragging about. That the only governor of Lagos that actually really built schools to sort of manage the shortage of schools at the time, where people had to go, you had to go to school in batches, morning school, afternoon school, and night school. So at the time, Lateef Jakonde embarked on building this half-built poultry-like classrooms. Not until recently, because we have to give it to them, okay? Not until recently that we have seen Sonwo actually showing renovations of schools. Some being given, some modern touches and all of that. Not building any new schools, because if you have to build new schools, the old ones that are dilapidating away or falling apart, no window, no chairs, no doors, no roof and all that you can really see everywhere 24 years after democracy. A shame, right? But it became a kind of a campaign thing, or a means of propaganda thing. So the propaganda there is that Renomokri pushed the agenda of Obi never built a single school. And that became a talk. Then some people now went on to say, not only that he built new schools, but it's pretty, whether building new schools or so, is so irrelevant. And they broke it down. Before this guy became their governor in Anambra, Anambra State was rated at as the 26th in their national exam in Nigeria. Then this guy came, returned all the schools that the state, according to him, couldn't really manage, returned them back to the, to missionaries, their owners, with a pact. Not only that the government is paying the salaries of the teachers in those schools, but giving them subventions that they are actually using for what they believe they needed. They needed water. They needed, new roof. Or they wanted health center. Whatever it is. As a government, it was doing that. And guess what? From the ratings of the Millennium Development Goal, this is fact now. And there's a reason why I'm telling you and sharing this with you. The set sort of, is that not the goal 15 of the Millennium Development Goal? Make education accessible to everyone. So how do you do that? Take a look at this, your screen. Again, my friends on TikTok can't see this, but if you go on YouTube, you will see this screen too, okay? Now take a look at this. This was the verified and verifiable sort of a record of the time that these three guys were in charge. First, when Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State between 2003 to 2007. So you can easily tell what was his gross national per capita for Lagos. Very rich. Life expectancy, Human Development Index, HDI, Health Index, Educational Index, as well as the Income Index. This is a, this is an information that is that has been available for for years. This is not this your blind, tribal, ethnic, stupid rhetorics that a lot of you are popping up. And I know that some of you, none of this is going to help you to change your dirty, stupid, ignorant mind to keep propagating and then promote a bunch of criminals who have, their life record is a bunch of failures, right? Every other thing you probably are going to manufacture for Tinubu and Fashola, despite their access to that amount of resources. So yeah, on record, the people living in Anambra, they have a longer life expectancy. They have access to at least primary health care. They have access to education. Listen, they said in Anambra State, they had about 1,350 or so public schools. The students or the children that need education in Anambra State, they said, our children that are going to that public school in Anambra State, they put them at 300,000. So when you begin to divide the children into those schools available, it simply means that you would have to put in maybe 300 children per school or 250 children per school. And averagely, that means you have around, maybe 40, 50 children per class. Right? That's very healthy. And then from 26th position, they took Anambra State to number 1. This is a fact. It is something that is there. But a lot of you don't know that you see this will be going left, right, and center. There is actually an all-out propaganda campaign that is going to make it look like they have election next month. The guy said there is no election. Why don't you just face the people you promised to govern well? And that's why you are hearing this. So let's start with you know, I've shown you that, Abi. Here are some of the schools in Anambra State when that guy was their governor, okay? And according to them, right, they said, well, these were the schools he managed to get back on track, improve improve their teachers' welfares, increase their pay, and then give them more resources that, you know. Give me a second. Hey, 1 sec. There's something I needed to pick there, okay? So he had all this, right? Like, I am not trying to actually put it to you, trying to manufacture something for him in his defense. I'm talking about things that are already available in public. Okay? And if you have anything you want to probably rubbish him on, I don't think you should be using that of education in Anambra State. Right? And I just saw one Abobaku on that TikTok, right? Who felt like, anyway, I'll come back to you. So now let's go to, let's go to that Anambra. And then Obi himself, what triggered some of this what you are witnessing so far, right? I'll come back to it. So this is how it all started, okay? Why is he giving money to these people? Why is he building the borehole? He is not your president. He is not your government. Some of the questions and all that, that you probably, or some of the expectation of him from some of these guys makes it look like he's their president. I don't know if you have seen if you have seen some of those reactions, right? I'm coming back. This is how it all started.
The Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2024 general election has been busy in recent times visiting communities, mostly in the northern parts of the country, to get first-hand knowledge about their problems and how we can help. His latest stop is an Almajiri school located in Badarawa, Kaduna North local government area. The Singaya school, like other Almajiri schools in the northern Nigeria, is established to teach Islamic education to children between the ages of 7 and 10.
I've come to visit a typical Almajiri school because I believe that while we might not have schools everywhere, we can take education everywhere. And all the effort of the federal government need to be doubled by investing in these young ones. Because the more we invest in them and they have education and skills, the more we fight the future problems. Again, to invest in the area of pulling people out of poverty. I've said it repeatedly. The more you pull people out of poverty, the more you reduce criminality.
While making a donation of 10 million naira to the school, Mr. Obi advocates proper funding and integration of the school system into formal basic education so the children can be exposed to other subjects side by side with Quranic education.
You can look at how intelligent these young ones are, how they memorize the Quran and everything. These are great people. These are engineers. These are doctors. These are professors. These are people who can develop into things. These are people who can change the world. I could see it in them. But we need to invest in it.
He also visited the Fawan Muslim Hospital and the College of Nursing, St. Gerald's Catholic Hospital, where he equally makes donations to the two organizations.
That is just the taste of what is to come. He has said it to you that what he has offered us here is just the beginning. He will come and come and come again. Therefore, I want to once more thank you very sincerely.
Presently, Nigeria has been fatigued by lingering insecurity, which is largely blamed on poverty and unemployment. However, the Labour Party presidential candidate believes that overcoming these challenges requires that government at all levels must invest heavily in human capital development.
You see, I wanted to show you that so that you can know when their rage is coming. Listen to me. I have told you this before. If you don't like Obi, It's all right. It's okay. If you don't like the obedient, you despise them and all that, that's fine. But you would have to keep it to yourself. You would what? You would have to keep it to yourself. Because from my own, from my own experience, anything that stands as a threat to this establishment that can disrupt it, that can destroy it, anything, I am interested. Anyhow, I am interested. So I hope that is clear. I'm not asking you to like him. No. Me self no like him. I know to like him like that. But do I like what they represent and what they are standing for? 100%. We will follow you go further no. Yeah, I'm 100% in it. I will give my money. I will raise money for them. Tobani Lati, you know. So I'm not asking you to like them. And I won't even ask you to. Whether you like them or you don't like them, my advice for you is to keep your opinion to yourself. If you say anything stupid in that comment section, that will be the last time you will say it. I promise you. I've said that all the time. It's not a threat. Listen, it is called respect. But sometimes, right? Give me one sec. So sometimes, we actually need to make ourselves understand what it means to make yourselves enough prepared to mix with other people whose main goal and wish is to what? Is to break the entire establishment, however they want to do it. If you have opinion of how big is this or that, the African Wahala, I've not been reading my comments, okay? I'm going to need you. It is very, very important. Okay, very, very important, please. Once they do it, once they can't take it in, once they cannot keep it inside themselves, I don't care who they are, please. Get rid of them. Here is that part where one of them, I believe obediently, decided to give a bit of a lecture in their own words to a lot of you. Why would you be building something new when the old are already dilapidating, collapsing, no window, no this, no that? Do we not have all of that everywhere? So it worked for him. His idea worked. And a lot of people became the beneficiary of that access to quality education. That's not something you can wish away. No, it's not something you can wish away. Here is his own answer before I take you to that.
We're not talking about the 2027 election between two parties. We are looking at, having Quranic education vis-a-vis the Western world. Somebody recently accused you that you didn't build or complete any new school as a governor. How will you react to this manifesto?
Well, you need to go and read my manifesto. You know, what we do here is that we don't read people's manifesto and know what they promised. When I was campaigning to be governor, as you know, and I'm sure you're aware, there was a term for nearly 2 years, the schools were shut in Anambra State. And everybody listened to, even yesterday when we were at Kaduna, a bishop said it, the Anambra school system went very low in rating. When I was campaigning to be governor, I said I'll change the educational system in Anambra State where schools and our children will never be closed. I'll make sure I give the best to education. When I was coming to Anambra to be governor, we have what we call male-girl child issue, where most of the males were not in school. I said, I'll reverse that. And I'll make sure that Anambra State becomes one of the best. And when I started, we were number 26, 27, Wayaka and Neko. By the time I left, we were number 1. That is what, when I went to Anambra State, I know the state of the schools. When I left, every secondary school in Anambra State had, like I said, a borehole, they had computers, they had vehicles, they have generator. No other state in this country, not one, will say they were able to fit. You can go and ask even providers of computer. Even had every secondary school had internet. You can go and ask one of the famous makers of computer sets. Let me remember their name now. No, Zynos is the agent we use, but what we bought was the HP. When we ordered computers and desktop tech for HP, they told us, printers, everything. They say, no government can afford this. But we bought them at a go, 30,000 complete sets for our various schools. No government was able to do that. We were able to train our teachers and everything. And the result is what you're seeing today. And to even go further, while I do not know who said that, and I don't want to know, but let me help you further. The only measure of development while I served as a governor is Millennium Development Goals, which was initiated in the year 2000 with Nigeria and over 150 countries as signatories. That is what China used to change. The MDG goals by the year 2008. That is clear 8 years after I had started. But by the time it was concluded in 2015, Anambra was number 1 in the implementation of that. I was even invited to the United Nations to come and talk about my experience. That is measured by UNDP. This is not a measurement where you say Peter has scored himself high. And I can tell you, our school, our hospitals, and assistants became model for every other person. So I believe that we did the right thing. Those who are looking for the wrong thing, what I promised the people are delivered. I live in Anambra State today. I live in Onitsha. I'm just going there now. Thank you.
He lives in Anambra as their former governor and all that. And everything he said there is true and real. This guy ceased to be the governor of Anambra State like about 9 years ago. Another person had become governor of Anambra, no more than 9 years ago. Soludo is there now for how many years? 2 or 3 years. Obaino spent 8 years. Add that to so that means this guy has left the government for 11 years. But the criminals who have been living off government, living off public money, Tifnubu and his family, and the rest of all these ass lickers, they will tell you education is not that much of a thing. We are supposed to give our people food. We are supposed to give our people money. Tifnubu, I won't get money, they blow money anyhow. Yet they are all living in that shit hole. The mega shitty of Lagos. So you see why you were watching that, right? Somebody was one Abobaku on TikTok said, you will cry by the grace of God. Emilomba will cry by the grace of God. I say, if the only grace of God, when did the grace of God started making people cry? Because the God is referring to is the God of Shege, the God of Nigeria, They are sky daddy. Àwọn olófò. I said, those who they told àwọn lókàn. Now you don't turn to any conlomo or any balomo. So if Maiyegun will cry, you see me, and like this, I go to cry every day. Tinubu will do 8 years, continue crying. Baba, Kobashi 80 years. Now me go, they come here every now and then to remind you. Tobashi walaye, if you still there alive, new. However, here is how one obedient put it. Listen to me. You can say sometimes like Dangbana Shoko are among those people who are the obedient. We no decree for anybody. But it was a meeting of the Agbadorians and the obedient on this matter. Then this guy decided to school them. Hear this broadcast.
That's okay. And the reason why I really want to respond to him is because from the way he sounded, it didn't sound like a typical Agbado. It sounded like the ignorance was actually an innocent one. Not some of these other ones. They actually know, they just pretend. But his own sounded like it was actually genuine, innocent one that needed to be tutored. My dear friend, education. When you check education as a section or segment of development, there is 6 things that make up education in that sector. 6 critical aspects of it. 1 is access. 1 out of the 6, that's what everybody's banding about. Access, that's the building, the structural building. But 2 is service. 3 is quality, embedded in expansion. That's where you talk about technical aspect of it, the libraries, ICTs, laboratories, and so many other things. The 4th one is enrollment. That's where you talk about girl-child enrollment, boy-child enrollment, out-of-school children, and all of that. The 5th one is school completion. So as they enrolled, how many people was able to complete? So how many children were you, not only how many children were able to pull into school, but how many children were you able to retain in school till they finish successfully? And then the last one is general performance. That's where the WAEC and the NECOs and the international awards and the global awards and the debate, everything is. So these are the 6 pillars of education as a sector. And I refer you to go back to some of the documents that was provided by Madam Due Process of the Secretary when she was Minister for Education. Some of the plans she had. Read through those documents to educate yourself generally on education. But then the point here is, out of this entire 6 things I mentioned, what seems to be your browse is access. That is the structural building. Now, the structural building, let me give you some of the numbers in Anambra State. As of today, and you can go and verify it, public schools in Anambra is about 1,300 public schools. Right? Public student population in Anambra State is just about 350,000. Yeah? 350,000 to 1,300 public schools. If you divide it, that means one school is getting about just 300 students. And if you spread it through JSS1 to SSS3, you are getting about just less than 30 students per class. That is way above global standard in terms of access. 30 students per class is way above global standard. Global standard starts from 70, 80, 90, even more than 100. So that means that Anambra school access can still consume students from Delta State and join some part of Kogi. And nobody will still be worried about access in Anambra in terms of school buildings. That is one of that access. Now tell me, about what I told you is public schools, 1,003. Now, mission schools and private schools cumulate to almost 4,000, about 3,700, if I'm not mistaken, making the general thing about 5,000 schools in a state that has a student population of less than 1 million. If you divide it, you are getting almost less than 20 per class. So that means that schools have outrun student population in Anambra State as of today. Now, tell me, you are a governor who is sensible, who knows and who has even attended one class of development in your life, because a lot of our politicians have not. That's why people are going about saying a lot of very ignorant things. And then you meet a state that has access already, just that the problem is that almost 70% of the entire school was dilapidated. Some were not working. So the school were there, they were registered. If you go to the files, they are actually registered as a school, like something community school. It's registered, so it's in existence. There is a compound, there is a school, but what you have there is a school and nobody is there because that school have closed down. But it's still registered. Now, tell me, you meet all of those schools when you come to Anambra State. Remember, Anambra State is the state that has 4,800 kilometers in landmass. It's the second smallest state after Lagos in Nigeria. And that means that there is an issue with land. Nobody has that too much expanse of land to be playing and joking around with public money. Now you have over 70.
Give it to him. Use everything you have to defend your guy. Because they will make him look so bad. So bad that the evil that they tolerate will look so good. Have you not noticed that's the deal? Show them, show it. Oh, he has no experience. He should go and start from councillor. That is somebody who has been under the oppressive rule of his own slave masters. Then a lot of you are there. It's true, Sha. It's true, John. You should go and start from so and so. Use everything you have to defend what you think, or else they will trash it. Trash it enough to get even you pissed off to say, no, I don't think I want to be back. I don't want to be part of that anymore. The criminals in Nigeria, number one, APC, Egbekegbe, is the most evil thing to ever happen to any country. Don't ever forget that. See, people can be very corrupt, right? But being corrupt and evil is extra. And that is what APC, Egbekegbe, represents. So if you have anything you have that you can use to destroy them, destroy them, you should do it. Do not give them a breathing space for them to plant any doubts in any of your groups. Because the purpose is to weaken you. And then you can settle for your known devil. And your shege can continue. Let that guy finish waiting to explain.
Now you have over 70% of those schools not functioning, not performing, not admitting students. You have a high number of out-of-school students. In fact, a few years before the coming of this man, schools were shut down. And then, instead of you to bring back all that school system, because that is access, just that the access is not functional. So instead of you to put the access, which is already there, functional, you are looking for how to use the billions of a state that is already managing money to go and build a white elephant structure. And how many extra schools will you add to 5,000 to make any difference? So the only thing you will do, you will build probably 100 extra schools. It will be 5,100 of dilapidated schools. And you end up probably, if you made that state at number 28 in education, you will leave it at number 35. Now, what did this man do? There's something called need assessment. And I talked about this about days ago. And I was lucky that Otumba Shogushomi tweeted yesterday, and he mentioned the same thing, need assessment. The problem with young people in Nigeria is that we have abandoned education. We don't read books again. Everybody's on Instagram. That's why I'm seeing a lot of ignorance on the timeline. Nobody reads. Nobody wants to know how Singapore developed their education system. Nobody ever wants to open any book and know how they developed in India. Nobody wants to know anything. People are here playing politics. Well, when was the last time a governor in America built a new school? What you see there is expansions and grant programs. Why are you enjoying Harvard today? It's not because America has gone to build 30 more Harvards. No, it's because America has invested in Harvard over and over with grants, expanding the school in knowledge, in service delivery, in enrollment, and in quality. That's why you are running there with dollars from your country. So, my brother, access was not a problem in Anambra State. If you check the need assessment Obi conducted immediately he got to Anambra State, it was clear immediately to him that access was not a problem. The schools were dilapidated. Why? Because after the Civil War, the state government, the eastern government, grabbed all the missionary schools because there was a huge population of missionary schools in the southeast, especially Anambra State, because Anambra State is a Catholic state. And Catholic, if you know Catholic, they build school like pure water anywhere they are. So there was a huge density of school already in the space, but because it was grabbed by the government after the Civil War, and then the civil service corrupted the school, messed it up, destroyed it. That was why the first thing Obi did when he got to Anambra State was to take the big quantum leap of returning the schools administrative-wise. Only administration, that's what he returned. The ownership, like day-to-day running. But the state retained funding, financing, staffing. Yeah? And supervision as well. Now, because Obi knows that it was better managed during the missionary days, he put it back, and it was not an easy task because other governors before him tried to do it. They couldn't pull it off. You know why? Because there's a lot of litigations there. Because people, the Catholic is saying no, this belongs to Anglican, say no, but historically this and this, and so it was a big. Nobody wants to go into that. No sane governor wants to go into that. You have to be brave. You have to have a lion heart for you to go into something as sensitive as that and historical as that. It was more even difficult in Anambra that is a Catholic space. Okay, two minutes. So let me just round off. So he was able to pull that historic feat off, handed those schools back, yeah, and then the public schools, and he started doling out those grants, which is standard global practice for those schools, all of them to be rebuilt. All of them. The problem we're having now is people don't want to rebuild them. People want to abandon the space and go to a forest, start off a brand new land, and build something. You get what I'm saying? And I'm surprised Obi didn't even talk about the ones he actually built. He built Anambra State University in the background. My cousin's sister's school there. It was one of the first sets to graduate from Ibariam. He built it from scratch. That was it. And I have evidence that I posted it on my timeline. That was a forest, an Ibariam, a forest, like evil forest for Nollywood, where you say that they go, they'll find egg of life. It's an evil forest. He cleared it up. He created the first road that led to that school. But I'm sure he didn't want to go into all that because he wanted to actually make the first point I make, which is that there is access already. You can't waste that taxpayers' money building structures and then forgetting about service, and that's why you move from 26 to 1. That's what show working, no be cho. Thank you. These guys are doing
and do well. The reason why I had to share that with you is because the conversation was raging everywhere and all that. And since it is the propaganda of, oh, it's this or that, what did you do? Not, and it was all because this guy was asking them to do something about water. Okay, he's doing this, he's bringing the attention to it, he's raising the awareness on that. This is a real issue. A serious government should kind of take that back. Is the opposition. So he should be doing that, right? So I'm not here asking you whether he's a saint. I've told you this before, okay? In fact, I do not really want, people to defend the personality of Obi or what have you. I said, where you know there are things that are, verified and factual. If they are trying to make it look like it's not real on that, you should sense the propaganda around that. I'm not asking you to go defend him or Obi as, no. I'm saying, when somebody says, well, what did he do? People say that all the time. But when you look at the person who is saying that, a Tifnumbu supporter who did absolutely nothing than to what? To annex the state purse to his own family string. Tifnumbu, the Jeunsoke madman. So what's his investment in education? Apart from the announcement of the one that which they used in 1999, free education, Awolowo free education, AD, free education. So how did that go? How did that end? So when you see people who try to, what we are asking is that in honesty, not lying, just present something that says, this is the truth. It doesn't matter how you feel about him. And on MaiyegunsDiary Politico for now, it doesn't matter how you feel about Obi and Obedient. Keep it to yourself. And I'm serious, I mean it. Keep it to yourself. You know, say we are very stubborn. You know that mentality of Nigeria mentality, we go say, you dey feed me. What do you mean? I will say my mind. I'm not saying you shouldn't say your mind. But I promise you, that will be the last thing you will say. Because your mind doesn't mean what you are saying is a fact. So I would rather you present something that is actually a fact, not something that has to do with your emotion and few other propaganda that you have been fed. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. I'm not asking you to come and defend him or come and tell us his... No. I won't even do that for him. But I also would prefer you stick to what is true than what is manufactured to make it look like it's nothing. Same way they told you that you obedient, you wasted this, you wasted that, and they have done so much to try to undermine what you achieved. On this platform, I told you, if anybody tried to undermine or play down what you did, we saw how you rattled the entire establishment. We saw how you exposed what a lot of people kind of still have some respect for until you show to the world how corrupt and compromised all of these roguish institutions are. You did all of that. It is something that has never been done before. You did it so well that they hated you for it. And the campaign is to make sure that whatever you did is a waste of time, is nothing. There is an effort to make it look like it's nothing. You wasted your time. And I will never let anybody say to you that you wasted your time. No, you didn't. You remain you were a threat, and you remain a threat. And this platform will remain yours to further amplify that your belief. Anybody to about like keep it to yourself. The African Wahala, you know, I'm calling you out now, right? I'm very serious. I'm not asking you to negotiate with anybody with what they say. They are free to say their mind. But that moment, once they start spewing their usual nonsense, please, African Wahala, don't let me see their message before they are gone. Right? And I'm also going to probably appoint 2-3 other spanner men and women on that platform. Because we cannot keep helping them to destroy the people who have found their voice against this rigged system. We cannot let anybody use your I'm just trying to be honest. Honesty song. Nobody's asking you about your honesty here. And that's that. On the side, even though I don't know if some of you probably know this. You know, we're supposed to be dead now. The world was supposed to end today. How many of you remember that? Well, one lunatic, one charlatan made a video, and he said he's a pastor. People believe he's a pastor because he said he saw vision. All of us were supposed to, or are we dead and in heaven or something? I don't know.
By the 25th of April, the world is going to end. If you like, take this serious. If you don't like, don't take it serious. But this is real. Rapture is coming on 25th of April 2024. I saw it very clear. Do you understand? I saw the date very clear, and the Lord ministered to me. It mentioned it twice. It has happened twice. Do you understand? So I saw myself in
nuisance, Lele.
You saw nothing, mate. You saw nothing. Just stop smoking that drug. It's probably not yours. It's not good for you. But again, sometimes it's actually a bait. Because a lot of people now we know, this Pastor Lazarus. I've been a Pastor Jacob. Now everybody will start looking for him. Please come and let me look at my future. Do you think I'm going to be a billionaire in the future? Do you think I'm going to marry Mikel Obi in the future? Or I'm going to marry Ronaldo or whatever? You know people now, curiosity. They say they kill something like that, right? But let's leave curiosity and go to Kogi. You've heard a lot about Yeye Bello. Meanwhile, you see the news of yesterday that they were withdrawing the case against Yeye Bello is because the appeal that they are filing against Yeye Bello, according to them, events are sort of override that. So it's no longer relevant, but it's not stopping them from still looking for him, where they are asking the police IG to help them look for Yeye Bello. I don't know if you have seen this, right? So, but Yeye Bello's deputy, somebody who was Yeye Bello's deputy, very old man, had this to say, that Yeye Bello is a career criminal. Oh, yeah, criminal, gidigonio. Like, see, Yeye Bello don't keep policeman before. They had to cover it too. That's what the deputy governor said. I'm going to play it. And listen.
It is a meeting of not just people from Kogi East, but people from all over Kogi State. We are gathered to share with you our resolutions after a very keen deliberation. And this is the communique that we have to issue to you. And I read as follows. Communique issued at the end of the meeting of Kogi State Forum of Concerned Citizens held on 22nd April 2024 at Abuja. The Kogi State Forum of Concerned Citizens met in Abuja on the 22nd April 2024 to review issues concerning the state, region, and the ongoing efforts of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, to bring the former governor of Kogi State, Alhaji Yaya Adoza Bello, to justice and to answer allegations of embezzlement of over 84 billion leveled against him and others. The forum noted the slow pace in bringing Yaya Bello to justice, but however commended the EFCC for rising to the occasion this time around to bring him and others to justice in response to the numerous petitions against him and our previous calls and calls of other well-meaning Kogais and Nigerians. The forum regrettably noted the arrogant resistance to arrest put forward by the former governor, Alhaji Yaya Bello, which tallies with his posturing and crass behavior that he is above the law and can do and undo in all situations, believing that he can always buy everyone in Nigeria as long as his umbilical cord is connected to Kogi Treasury. As we speak, I want to bring to your notice that he has started mobilizing people to protest all over Nigeria. He has mobilized people in Lagos about 2-3 days ago. Today, he has also mobilized people in Kogi State. Every local government is given 3 buses to assemble in Lokoja to demonstrate and to tell EFCC not to arrest Bello. This is his stock in trade, and that is the part he's going again. He believes that he's above the law and that there is no institution in Nigeria that can question him about his 8 years in Kogi State. And I believe that the law of Nigeria is being put to test by his confrontation, and we'll continue to watch as the events unfolds. The forum further noted that the disgraceful actions of Nigerian police officers attached to Alhaji Yaya Bello by forcefully preventing the EFCC from performing her lawful duties and draw the attention of Inspector General of Police to our various press releases concerning the activities of Kogi State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Bertrand Onoha, who has subjugated law and order in the state to the whims and caprices of Yaya Bello. It is now glaring that he has reduced the state police command to the private army of Yaya Bello. We commend the Inspector General of Police, the IGP, for proactive reaction to the unethical conduct of Bello's security aides. We implore him to carry the same disciplinary measure on the CP of Kogi State, that is Bertrand Onoha, who has been at the root of misconduct of policemen in Kogi State. Nigerians may not have come to the end of unethical conduct of policemen in Kogi State as long as Bertrand Onoha remains the CP of Kogi State. You will recall that this same Bertrand Onoha took along policemen, thugs, and other security agencies to Wanyigba prior the election, attacked the home of our campaign director, killed 2 policemen and 2 civilians, and labeled them as terrorists. Unknown to him, he didn't understand that the people he has killed are policemen that he himself has attacked to the director of campaign. So he has admitted openly that he committed murder. Committed murder because these people were there lawfully on duty and they were killed. Since then, we have been appealing to the Inspector General of Police to do something concerning Bertrand Onoha, yet nothing has been.
Onoha is said to be the Yaya Bello's wingman. And Yaya Bello is more dangerous than what so many of you even know. I do know that too. Or how many of you have forgotten that Yaya Bello he actually took an excavator and he dug a big hole on about 3 roads that leads to the senatorial district of his political opponent on the day of election, so that the election material won't get there before they announce results. Yaya Bello is the Mr. Tatata, at least I witnessed on video on Yaya Bello's election, where more than 4 people were killed. For Yaya Bello's election, I have seen where in the same Yaya Bello's election, I have seen where they have shot people during election, during election time, where they were stealing the ballot box. So he's a very violent person, very, very violent person. But he happened to be the governor. Yeti Queen. I'm coming back to you. But let's hear the other part of this, okay?
By public officers and his doggedness in maintaining the sanctity of law and order, irrespective of who is involved. The forum further commended Mr. President for not allowing himself to be hoodwinked by the yesteryear haters, turned his bootlickers now that they found themselves in a very tight corner. As a man of many parts, Mr. President has proven that he has a memory of an elephant. The forum noted the disgraceful, shameful, and illegal manner Governor Ododo of Kogi State smuggled Yaya Bello from the Benghazi street home, thereby obstructing the course of justice, since the service to his master is more important to him than the oath of office he has taken. The forum invites Nigerians, and indeed the whole world, to note the reason why former Governor Yahaya Bello had to criminally pre-fill the INEC result sheets and commit heinous electoral malfeasance in favor of Ododo to be declared winner of the state governorship election held on 11th November 2023. You see, there is nothing wrong having a successor, but there is everything wrong having an unfit successor. Having a successor is not for the purpose of coming to cover your evil works or your embezzlement. It is to improve on what a governor that is living has done. But in the case of Kogi State, the purpose is to cover. And the acts of the governor Ododo, since he came in, is very, very glaring. His purpose is to cover the embezzled money of Kogi people, and that cannot be taken by Kogi people. That since Ododo was sworn in as governor of the state, despite the outcry of dissent Kogis, he abandoned the Kogi State Government House for Yahaya Bello to maintain his full complementary staff. All the people he had as governor are still with him and are working for him. Retain his office. He still goes to his office as if he is the sitting governor. He still remains in his official residence, where we call Presidential Lodge. That's where he stays, and that is where he is still staying. So if this is allowed to be, what do you call it? Is this not a third tenor? So these are the things he continues to do. He puts the law and the Constitution of Nigeria to test all the time, finding new ways to manipulate the law. And I'm sure this time around, it will not work. It will certainly not work. He will not have his third tenor as he has planned by himself. The people of Kogi State and Nigerians and those who are protecting the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will not permit this to happen. He is still in his official residence, and he continues to enjoy the paraphernalia of his office as though he is on his third term, and thus providing sanctuary for him to evade arrest or be held accountable for his past misdeed as governor. The forum further drew the attention of INEC to the case of double registration brought against Yahaya Bello, of which INEC confirmed same to be true, but could not prosecute him because of the immunity he enjoyed as governor that time, but promised to prosecute him in accordance with the extant law at the end of his tenure. That the INEC should commence the prosecution against former Governor Bello without further delay as deterrent to other lawless and desperate politicians. As you know, it is not permitted for anyone to register twice or more than one time in an election or in the process of voting. But I was an eyewitness to the double registration. If you look at the pictures as presented that time, it is the office of the governor of Kogi State. I was the city deputy governor. And I cautioned them that this registration is going to be a problem. The then law officer of the state advised him that it doesn't mean anything. I said, it means so much. But today, we are face to face with it. I am a living witness to that double registration, and at the right time, we'll do the needful. The forum further drew The forum further noted the continuous emasculation of the state judiciary and legislature in the power structure of the state. The state judiciary has surrendered itself to the state government, hence becoming an avenue for the procurement of frivolous injunctions to further frustrate the fight against corruption that crippled the judiciary itself. The state
70 years old man.
That's the deputy governor to Yeyebelu. They were together, I think, for the 8 years. So the old man is like, a lot of you have no clue who Yeyebelu is. In fact, Yeyebelu is still seeing himself as the governor of Kogi. He believes he's worked the whole thing out, Ododo and the rest, you know. But that guy is like, no, you guys, if you are looking for Yeyebelu, you should be looking for so and so as well. Because that guy is extra. But let's go to another one before the night finally runs out. Ewa, Kadobi, Oduduwa Emefiole. What is going on with Naira? Kilo to she Naira. What happened to the dollars that they are using to defend the Naira? Should they finish, because me, I just thought that maybe it's just one single slip. That okay, maybe by the time and then Kadobi, Yemi Kadoso, Oduduwa Emefiole, that maybe when they land in Nigeria 3 days ago, they will go and pump in some more money. So they did. They pumped in some money 3 days ago. They gave some money to the Bureau de changes so that they could possibly still manage to control and reduce the Nigeria where they drowned. But it didn't work. Yesterday I said, oh, if I want to send ₦1 million, how much is ₦1 million? I called the person where they helped me send money to Nigeria. And the person came back and said, well, that's going to be, listen, he said that's going to be £695. Okay, how much is 800? 800 is going to be £588. Okay, send 800. Oh, sorry, we couldn't send it. There was some problem today. Can we do it tomorrow? Sure, do it tomorrow. That will be today. So they sent it. And guess what? Between yesterday and today, I don't save £50, £55. So from £595 for 800K, today, if I sent it yesterday, I would have given this this person £600. But I did it today and I saved myself £55 because I had to pay £545, less than £550. So I saved £55. I just quickly went straight to the what do you call it? I just went straight to the filling station. I just filled my tank, full tank, £45. I still get change. Kadobi kilo happen. Who are we going to have to blame now? Binance, abi? Financing. I told you, voodoo economy is not an economy, it's an imagination. Voodoo economy. Artificial buying back or defending the Naira is the most stupid thing ever. But because it is a country, it is not a business. They know that every loss that Nigeria suffers, they can put it on you or even borrow money to cover it. And then, shift it ahead again. So now we don't know what is going on. We don't know. A pound is now 1,700 Naira. It was 1,450 Naira 2 days ago. Kilo happen, what is going on, Kadobi? We know what is going on. They will need to empty every penny inside your foreign reserve. If they want to keep your Naira under 2,000. If you don't want the Naira to go to 2,500, 4,000 Naira to $1. they better start looking for more dollars now to buy back. I told you, you cannot defend the Naira when you have no electricity. You cannot say the Naira is recovering when it is not that you have improved in your production in your country. It is not because you have increased your exports. You have not increased anything, but they said Nigeria Naira is recovering. Naira is fighting back. Fighting with Guinea? With free dollar from where? There is no free food anywhere, not even in Freetown. If you find anything anywhere and they say it's free, but there is nothing free in this world, somebody is paying for it. Look very well. You may find the person that is paying for it. Hey, come and take this cup. I'm sharing this. Oh, where did you get this cup? Oh, I got it free. No, it's not free. Somebody paid for it. You just never have to bother yourself about who paid. Or you have the cup. They are using dollars to defend Nigeria Naira. They are selling dollars at a highly subsidized rate to the Burundi changes. And then maybe the enemy. You, this Maiyegun, you are the enemy of Nigeria. Why are you not happy? Nigeria Naira is now gaining strength. This Maiyegun is not talking again. Are you mad? Yes, you are. Because I was talking to remind you that say this is what I present to you makes sense to you economically. To say that your currency is becoming stronger. When your national grid, electricity is collapsing. Dakudaji, epileptic. What kind of economic is this? You don't get power, you don't get road, you don't get security, you don't get anything. But suddenly your Naira is fighting back. Your Naira is gaining strength. And you come around like that. It's not your fault. Once if you school in Dubai, majority of you in your 30s, in your 40s today, your school fees, money they were supposed to use for proper good education to train you properly. Instead of training you with this half education, miseducation that has made majority of you unemployed, unemployable. They've used your money to go and buy houses in Dubai, to go and buy houses in this or that. And that is why a lot of you can always believe in voodoo economy. Voodoo economy, artificial. I'm not your enemy. You are defending your enemies. Those are the people whose actions will continue to make you poor. I am supposed to be flangering, like feeling cool if I am a selfish person. Because the destruction of Nigeria actually makes me rich. I don't like that kind of rich. It is a dangerous rich. Okay? Yeah, the destruction of Nigeria makes me rich. And I could capitalize on it and become very rich. But I don't like that kind of rich. At the expense of a lot of you. Children, women, whose economy has been stolen, destroyed. And you are existing in that economy. You are going to live in that economy. You are existing in a world that is already rigged against you. It's like going into a football match. You and the world. The world is already leading you by 4-0. Half of your team are injured. The remaining half, they don't even know what they are doing. How are you going to actually score back, equalize, and get something out of life? How? These guys won't let you have that. So when somebody tells me I should continue to cry, how? Why am I going to be crying? Your situation makes people like me, without doing anything, very rich. Yeah. Oh. You don't understand what this economic jihad truly means when they take things away from you. It is because at the end of the day, people like you are still going to blame people like me. When you see me, my family, living the moderate, normal life that people should live, you will look at me and be like, why are you not having that? Why are these ones like, why is your life like that? My own life is not like that. Then at the end of the day, you will become you will make my life, my family and my life an endangered one. And that is why I do not want that kind of wealth. So I will speak out now. Because I know no amount of money that I can have in this whole world, right, can save me in a disorganized, disjointed, and intentionally underdeveloped contraption like Nigeria, my money won't save me. So why should I be interested in that money rather than your soul, your liberty, your own, free will to tell you to stop defending the criminals who wishes you no good? I'm not your enemy. I'm not your enemy. Okay? But if you don't see it that way, that's your problem. They keep making all these horrible decisions. These decisions are killing businesses. These decisions are destroying, investment and all that, destroying lives, breaking up a relationship, breaking up families. This is their doing. Okay? And if somebody like me could have a way of influencing you to stop them, that means I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to save my life too. I am. But they will never stop until you stop them. They won't. In a country where criminality is very much rewarded, never punished, they won't. But maybe Edo people will be different, sure. This one happened in Edo State. And this exchange or exchanges.
You leave your auto at the road, you come here now, the Peter Iwadomo, and you think this is the person, this is the councillor that deceive us. This is your cover. Look at our road. I do that. You look your motor for airport road. You come here now. You enter by come here. Even farmers now if we carry their good, their food stuff. Go town. Nothing. Let's calm down. The road Dragons is where. Dragons is where. Dragons is where. Let's calm down. No. The road. Wait. Since when? Since December. I mean, they say they have issues with the contractor. They have resolved all those issues. How many months is there? How many months, sir? It's not matter how many months. Government is continuing. Oga, let us. Our mood. We go wait. Let the Lord is done. We are one for you. No problem. We're not the quarter. Live meeting on every meeting. You know what? Let's. Send the message now, please. Represent us where? It's not representing us. It's representing I'm doing my best. I'm a councillor. I'm not the state government. We're not representing us. But I'm only but all of us want you to represent Oyinbo. But we're not doing that. You're going to be constructed. How long? Since when? When? We'll pass the message. I will keep passing the message. Please do. If I'm not representing you, I will not come to the meeting. With the possible shortest time, I need this road to be constructed. Don't worry, you get message.
Edo people, they give voice, say, oh, we know they talk about, don't come here again, waiting your boss seki, I swear words, and all of that stuff, okay? Now, that's people trying to say, you failed us, so you shouldn't come back here and ask for our votes. Interesting if they can stand that, because that's why it is like in Edo State right now. Excuse me. So that's why it is in Edo State right now, where people are being told to not blame Obaseki too much. Let his economic advisor or what have you be your next governor. Then he will continue from where Obaseki is going to stop, Baba. It's been a long time I've been to Edo State. I've not been to Edo State for the past, let's say, maybe about 20 years I've not been in that place. Well, before then, I've kind of have a way. I've been to Edo. And my experience in Edo State is one that some Edo people will be like, Maiyegun, no, that no be so, no see I'm like that. But I'll tell you my experience. Babu, I don't know if my uncle is watching, right? He's probably watching. So I have this my uncle, Babu, and Then I have this auntie who happened to be Tabo's sister, senior sister. So their mother, our mother-in-law died. So she died in London and they brought her to Nigeria. And we did Niger that time. So it was time for the burial. So they, rich guys, right? Abroadians. So they gave all of us clothes, like they bought clothes for all of us for the party. So we found ourselves and found our way to Benin. So when we got to Benin, it was it was one memorable journey. I won't forget that. It was lovely. That was my first time of traveling a long distance, and it was so amazing. Then the party started, and their party, they were Christians, and so the party was going to start late, kind of. So we started the party around maybe 7 or 6 in the evening. Rich people now, the entire place was like a day, right? There was light, there were drinks, food, and all that. Everybody was like there, flexing and all that. Then we started looking back, like, outside the tent areas where there were lights that were so bright, yeah, you could see people sitting. Initially, you see some people sitting in front of their houses. Okay, and the houses were like that, like compound like that, right? People sitting in front of the houses like that. Then gradually the crowd started building up. So the whole place don't look like houses surrounded us anymore. It was like we have now been surrounded by people, a lot of them, that you could barely see the houses behind them. Like we were seated in a party, and if you look back like this, you will see them. They were there. Then I don't know what happened, because I was probably younger. I don't know what happened. I just hear, they throw stone, bricks. And they are throwing bricks, and the brick will, fall through the canopy. That leather, that thick canopy. Bricks were, breaking, making holes in that. So immediately the whole party just scattered. So what's the problem? We did not give them food. We are doing party. And these are people that the mama had been in London for like about 20 years. Okay? So to the Benin people, they were angry that they didn't allow the old woman to live with them, to be iye to all of them. Like they believe that they did not enjoy her. No money or anything, but like that's our presence. That our children took her away. Now they have brought her back. Now they brought her back. They are burying her as if to say they are not involved. Oh man, and so the party ended though. My uncle Tabo was a little bit tipsy. Big man in his big agbada. And they threw stone. Egmont did that. They said, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I'm a break. You better move. That will remain one experience that I have about Benin. And I don't think it's going to leave me for a long time. So there are people that they do not talk too much. Okay? In fact, when Benin people begin to talk, if you don't have what it takes to kind of stand and fight, try your best and excuse yourself from the place. Like, leave. That would be my own advice. Leave. Okay? If they say, we go do it, they will do it too. I promise you, I've seen that long time ago. So that is why when they stood up against Oshiomole, in order to defend Obaseki against godfatherism, they stood to the end. Now, some of them are already standing against Obaseki himself, who is now the new godfather in town. I hope they stand to the end. Okay? So let's go forward a bit. I was supposed to take calls, right? But I've got some lovely goodies here. I just felt like we should just have our G's. We'll do phone calls some other time, right? Good. Do you remember this, guys? The Dana ear that left the tarmac, enter bush. Keyamu has responded, but ma flash your brain back. 3 days ago or 2 days ago.
The guy just tried.
We're just lucky, just arrived this morning for the crash, Ghana Airline. Thank God. There's the fire service just arrived.
Hello everyone, please, I need you to gather together, please. Please come together. Let's go that way. Please come along. Stop taking videos and please come. We need to do a head count quickly, please.
God, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that was 2 days ago, and everybody was happy that there was no casualty. 85 passengers escaped death when they are playing while taxiing or landing and taxiing. I'm gonna. Taxiing is when you want to take off, Abby. What do you call it when you land and you are trying to park the plane? Isn't that taxiing too? Or parking? Anyway, Shaja lose the brake. The plane lost, I don't know if he lost his brake or something, but that's the explanation because they couldn't hold it. He entered bush. Otobokeyamu has now responded. They are suspended, they've suspended the Dana airline for safety reason. I support that too, but some said it's extreme. Listen to Otobokeyamu on the matter. It was with Shew this afternoon.
Who are agitating, are quoting the law, which you probably are very familiar with. And sad incident, looking at the history of Dana, this is happening again. But give us an update of what exactly is going on. You know the books of Dana, you know what is going on. And the NTA, under your leadership, has gone to say they will do an audit to show the health status of the airline in terms of financing and operation-wise. What exactly is going on with Dana Airline?
Well, Shew, thank you. For me, the last thing I want to happen to me as Minister of Aviation is to have blood on my hands. Blood of innocent Nigerians as a result of either the negligence or deep complicity or corruption of those who are supposed to be regulators of the aviation industry. As Minister, my job is to supervise them and to ensure that they carry out their duties. My duty is not to regulate. So those who quote the law, who are quoting the law, they should know that I know the law more than they do. My duty is to supervise those who are supposed to carry out their legal duties and to tell them when they are not doing their duties, to tell them to do their duties. So one of my first KPI is to ensure the safety of our airspace and to ensure that the regulators also do their job. So when I came into office, even before I came into office, I'm sure you have heard of consistent incidents involving perhaps Dana Airline, to mention a few of them. I'm sure you heard at the point that on approach to the runway at a point, the door flew open. You know that pop line is there. A door of an aircraft flew open. So who are the engineers that are supposed to look at this? Who are the engineers that are supposed to check, for the safety of the aircraft and, its parts? There were also incidents involving, one or two of his aircrafts at different times, consistent, after the fatal crash of Dana the other time that killed Nigerians. There was, of course, internal reports. I don't want to deceive Nigerians because this involves their safety. As aviation minister, I owe a duty to Nigerians to be honest and frank to them when it comes to their safety, the flying public. So there were internal reports before I came, not me, by the same regulators.
Under your predecessor?
Under my predecessor.
What does it say?
About, series of infractions.
By
the same airline. Series of infractions. And the conclusion, of course, that they were not healthy enough to fly their fleets.
But
at that time,
they went into the skies after such a report.
What they did, how thorough they did it, before they now said, okay, start flying again. We don't know. They have not convinced me. So my own point is that, look, whilst we argue about, back and forth, who has power, who does not have power, the point is that the flying public is at risk. And if anything happens, Sheung, if anything happens, any tragic incident happens, it is the minister they will call for his resignation. I'm sure you know that. Nigerians will not spare the minister. So if that is the case, what is my role as a supervisor? What is my role? Am I a lame duck minister? And in any case, I'm sure you saw the release by the NCA. The NCA took that decision. I threw my weight behind them. But I also gave them a directive to do their job. So I did not write to the airline. Hold on. I did not write to the airline. Take note. That is taking over the powers of the NCA. I did not write. I told the people who are supposed to do their job, do your job, which is my job.
That's still preferred. That's still kind of all right, yeah? But now he's going to react to those who are saying that he is overreacting. Oh, come on. You shouldn't even have suspended them. Listen to me. Anything that has to do with safety, I do not joke with that. Nobody should. So I don't know. It's just that it's so difficult to trust Otobo Keyamo. I don't believe he's saying the truth because of his antecedents. So I don't trust him. I'm going to have to on this matter. Okay? I just have to, even though it's so difficult and tough. Safety really matters. In Nigeria, corruption is a very dangerous thing. It's so bad that it is a great risk to lives and properties. When you compromise a standard, you'll be putting people's lives at risk. And that life could be your life, could be my life, could be anybody's precious lives. That corruption has made them, because of little monetary gain or what have you, they've compromised their standard. They put our lives at risk. Some of you who are in Nigeria, you have been living in America, living in Europe, or living in all this or part of the world. Then you are in Nigeria, you have to do your Psalm 25, I'll be Psalm 23, because you want to enter a plane craft, because you just have no idea if they are actually, following up the health and safety standard or every standard in, the normal industry standard that allows them to fly, and you are not flying in a flying coffin. So that's why I'm going to give him a pass. If he says Dana here, he doesn't trust what they presented as their own bill of clean health. I don't trust Otobo Keyamo. I just have to. But is he doing anything about it? Maybe not. Then he had this to say about those who have said he is overreacting, and he said majority of them are puff sellers at the airport. Now they are now aviation experts, the usual. That's why I don't trust him. You get that now? He himself is a complete twat, a total misfit. And as Nigeria is just walk about and pretend to be in charge or know what you are doing, other people will do it for you. So here is Otobo Keyamo's response.
My role, am I a lame duck minister? And in any case, I'm sure you saw the release by the NCA. The NCA took that decision. I threw my weight behind them. But I also gave them a directive to do their job. So I did not write to the airline. Hold on. I did not write to the airline. Take note. That is taking over the powers of the NCA. I did not write. I told the people who are supposed to do their job, do your job, which is my job. My job is to tell you to do your job. So if, for instance, a series of incidents are happening, I want to ask a simple question. As minister, should I not tell the regulators to do their job in respect of those incidents? That is the least I can do. Because if we don't do that, I'm sorry to say we are going to have flying coffins in the air in Nigeria. And that will be the last thing I want to do. And of course, like I said, the last thing I want to do is also to deceive Nigerians about the state of health of our aircrafts that are carrying, innocent Nigerians.
So you can say for a fact tonight that Dana Airline have been flying without with an unhealthy status all along.
They should carry out the audit. There was an audit 2 years ago that confirmed the unhealthy status.
And they were taken off.
And then at some point, something happened. And I said, go back and review it and say, how thorough was that before you allow them to continue to fly again? Is that wrong on my part? You see, let me tell you the problem, Sheon. The problem with Nigeria, with the sector I find myself, is that we have people who claim to be experts everywhere. Everybody's an aviation expert. People who have sold puff at the airport will tell you that they have been at the airport for a long time, that they are aviation experts. And I have challenged them over and over and over again since I came to office. Come on TV. If you think you have better ideas and better way to run the aviation sector, let us have a debate. Because what we have done since we came is to set clear priority areas for ourselves. And these priority areas, we are pursuing them with all honesty and vigor and with the renewed hope agenda of the president.
So what so ask the question, if Dana Airline, that's what I wanted to take out from you. Yes. If Dana Airline has had issues on the health status of their operation, how then are they being able to fly? Have you done a thorough audit of your own ministry, of your own agency, which shows that they have endangered the lives of Nigerians by allowing people to fly Dana, even when they know that there is no certainty on the capacity or the health status of that airline?
Unfortunately, I'll have to say this, I won't run away from it, that there is deep complicity within the system, and the cleansing process will start and continue till I get to where I'm going. The cleansing process from within the system, because you see regulators at times buying big houses, driving big cars. Regulators who are supposed to be public servants. How do they do this? Because they are endangering the lives of Nigerians by cutting corners. Do you know that they falsify reports? Certain people, I'm not talking about Dana now, so I'm not going to say I'm here on the campaign against Dana. I want them to survive.
See, I told you I don't trust him. I can't trust somebody like that. He's a very dishonest person. That's a very, very important conversation they were having there. Shemun asked him repeatedly, listen, can you confirm that Dana Air has been flying without any airworthy clearance? Can you confirm that? You are the minister, tell us. Then he went on to start talking about some people. They'll think they know about the aviation sector. If they think they know, because they have been around the airport selling puff or selling gala for so many years now, they are thinking they have what do you call it? They are experts in aviation. Alaye you demand ini. Answer this question, Kia Jo. Shemun asked him again. Are you saying that Dana Air has been flying when they shouldn't? Nigerians have been buying tickets. They have been entering their planes and they have been flying when they shouldn't be flying at all. Answer the question. Then he went on again. Oh, people have been cutting corners. We are doing investigation. There are some people within. You demand in Otoboke Yamo. That's why I said I don't trust him. They are criminals enough that they can't really give you the straight answers. They can't. When you look deeper and look deeper, there's always something they are covering. And listen, this one is something that can actually, that will take lives. Any small error like that, but always are be 200. One single plane crash, one single error, all these cutting corners that he's talking about. You could just hear the breaking is bad. 200 people are dead inside so crash. Then everybody will begin to now act surprised. How did this country, what you know? I don't trust him. He didn't answer that question. Because if Dana here has been flying people with fake airworthy certificates, that means she roll. All of now we don't buy ticket of Dana, fly Dana, or flew Dana inside Nigeria until their suspension. You should begin to start calling your lawyer right now and start a class action case, a class action suit. Because what they did was to put all of your lives in. They used your life to play gamble. But fair enough, they won. None of the plane, none of the flying coffins fell off the sky. So they don't have to pay insurance. They do not have to worry about anything. And they could keep all their profits. But since your government will not even be honest with you and tell you the real thing. So you just have to wait until something happens later and then you'll be like, oh, where is the minister? Where is the president? Anyway, Kolu is in the Netherlands, okay? Even Netherlands, no? Brussels is Belgium. Netherlands is Holland. And in Holland, you have, okay, it doesn't matter. But they saw Kolu who went to see the prime minister being a president of Netherlands, okay? And he's so happy. He's so happy that he's been welcomed into Netherlands, a drug dealer. America released some info, or released some statement yesterday. Hypocrite America. Now they are talking about how Tifnumbu and the APC, Egbekegbe, denied the Igbos from voting in Lagos and everybody that looked like Igbo. Now they are talking about it. They are talking about how the violence, the manipulation, the this and that marred the election in 2023. Who are they deceiving? So the druggie is everywhere. And again, mind you, I have an announcement to give to you. They said, somebody said that if you can bring any proof that Tifnumbu actually won the 2023 elections, you may be winning yourself a $10,000. So I'll go look for that person and I'll bring the link around there. Yeah, if you can bring a proof with the result of the elections, that Tifnumbu won the 2023 election, you could win yourself a $10,000. Not even INEC can bring any proof. What is his name again? Your professor, no, your professor. Mahmoud Yakubu, Mr. Yakubu, your INEC chairman that announced election results, okay, that he manufactured himself. Do you know that for February, okay, for over 14 months now, since you participated in your Charade elections, do you know that till now, INEC has not uploaded up to 70% of the results till now? They still have about 30% of the result. They don't even know where it is. And all of them they don't tell you to make you move on. Meanwhile, there's no official result of the election except what Yakubu announced. But there is no proof of it. There is no proof of any of those figures anywhere. Or maybe you can find it. And then win yourself a $10,000. Cool money. And you can even call your missus. Not like this one, okay? Call your missus to make you something. And show something.
Your mouth? Oh, have soup, please. Oh. Look at you.
Pastor told you.
Please give me your hand now. Is it because I haven't put gun in your mouth today?
Stop begging for
please, I want to. Please, beg. I'm begging you. One for Sahara reporters. Hey! Your mouth.
The moronic former minister of aviation for Food Kayode. So for Food Kayode, who happened to be who was sitting in the office of where Otobokeyamo is now. For Food Kayode was the minister of aviation in Nigeria 12 years ago when the Dana Air crashed. No, was it? All right. Or maybe not. No, that wasn't him. Was it? Okay. It was the aviation minister that recorded, what they believe was one of the. He brags that there was no many plane crash during his time. But I remember the June 2012 Dana crash. That was the day I left Nigeria, so I won't forget that anyway. Well, yeah, talking about for Food Kayode, we can then go on and show you the Kolu in Netherlands. Watch this. But by the time he gets back to Nigeria, then you would have to see him with over 200 vehicles in his convoy. Okay. Talking about convoy, talking about road, I have this from another very happy Abian, one of the very happy Abians that will continue to showcase what they believe, their own jackpots from the 2023 charade for God giving them Alex. And the powers and principalities couldn't take him away from them. So since then, it seems they feel like they have a government for the first time in 24 years. So every time they make videos, one even went, see, look at this one. Kepu TV guy, right? He actually went into one of the supposed drainages in one of the ongoing road constructions in Abia State. He stood in there to show to you that I'm all serious. Like this seems to be like, this is going to be like a lifetime or life-changing lifetime sort of a project from this guy, something they should have probably had years ago. Well, take a look. Oh, see how deep this drainage is. Some more. It's taller than me. Oh. And that is to showcase the quality of work that Alex Otti is doing in that place. Listen to this lady.
Time next 2 months. I got Indiana. It's a Urwanya free. The country Diana. The name would be said every on the way has a river. Said about though, got the decorate. I want to meet at the less now have your fish here back. Fish share. The level got every end hour. Lele Fukota. Then when they get it up, you got that. I want to talk red sand, red sand there. I would check one I walk a sharp sand. And I walk. It will pass it right like channel on this side. Then I for the Almighty Oranda Johnson. Even I never the channel. Also, even as I'm talking to you, me know another stop on herself. Hey, with the Lord. Make all the way, like good orata. If we ever had this orata Johnson, the Almighty orata. If we ever, how ever that that's when the channel days. There's a side. I watch have a go. I can I watch have a go. So Lele Fukota. He hauro. Where water Lele Fukota. He had I watch every week. Let's I watch have a go. I will go the bank quota. Yakaga would do. Even the auto, I will want side out. They've got through die. For gone got one side. For gone one. The entire IAB. Close up. Let's go. It's in there. Ever an atom. Snake me right a bit. Got through die. I remember said they kept my home. But we are heading to that.
You will never understand if you are not from Abia State. I'll keep reminding you. You will never understand. But for the people, for the workers, or let me say people living in Lagos State and they are working in Lagos State, people living in Ogun State and they are working in Ogun State, Sanwo-Olu says Stephen is planning to pay you or announce, no, to the rest of Nigeria, okay, is planning to announce a minimum wage. He didn't say, excuse me, he didn't say how much, but he was able to say how much they are willing to pay. Sanwo-Olu said Lagosians or Lagos workers could be collecting up to 175,000 naira minimum wage soon. But that one is coming. But according to him, he has been paying 70,000 naira as minimum wage in Lagos since January. I don't know how true that is, so. But dubious Dakpo of Okemoson, dubious Dakpo of Ikperu, has made his own announcement as well. He said he's going to pay workers 70,000 naira instead of the 30,000 naira that is the main thing. He hasn't started paying. But Sanwo-Olu said he's been paying already. But Dakpo is yet to tell us when he's going to start paying it. But it doesn't matter anyway, but it's an announcement, right? But you tell me if they are lying. Sanwo-Olu, explain it, please.
By the grace of God, very, very, very soon, we'll see a new minimum wage that will be approved for the federal government and for the state government. The civil servants and all public officers, they know that since January, we have continued to pay the wage allowance of minimum of 35,000 over and above what they were earning before. If they are not saying it, let us say it. So what it means is that people that were earning a minimum of 35,000-40,000 before, they are now earning over 70,000. That's what they've been enjoying since January. So it's important for people to know and for us to lay these things very clearly. That this government has doubled up to ensure that at this difficult time, it has not left its citizens on their own. And so we're out here today again to assure you once again that when government to make life better for you, when government to provide the support that is required, when government to provide security of life and property, and to be an activator to ensure that you can live a decent life. You can live a decent life. And that's
nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
His name is Adegator. Governor Ade Pointer. Did you see his hand? He's Governor Pointer and Kill, the Sanwo-Iku of Lagos. He is indicted in this new American release that they used their what do you call it? They used their violence, intimidation, and others to stop the Igbos from exercising their supposed rights in Lagos. And this was also extended to the Yorubas and other non-Igbos suspected to be, against APC. They were told never to come around or say they want to vote for, vote for another party except for the Sanwo-Iku and his gang. So, Tunde, you remember that guy you remember Tunde Onokoya? Yeah, the new chess master from Nigeria. Tunde, the world record breaker. Tunde. Well, Tunde is back in Nigeria. And when he got back to Nigeria, he met Sanwo-Iku. Now, meeting Sanwo-Iku, okay, Tunde was in the US last week, where he was participating in that world record, So the effort was, as Tunde was playing that chess in America, Tunde was using that occasion to raise money. He was planning to raise $1 million so that he could use the money to provide education, access to education for the poorest children in Africa, including in Lagos. Lagos currently have over 2.8 million out of school children, by the way, just in case if you don't know. Over 2.8 million children living in Lagos are currently out of school. They were supposed to be in school, but they are out. I actually should have told you that earlier. All right? So Tunde wants to put a lot of them back in school. So he now met with Sanwo-Iku, who is so happy that Tunde, who is from Ijebu in Ogun State. So Tunde bringing glory to Lagos. And Tunde promising to use part of that money to send the children that government couldn't put in school. He was going to send them to school. You know something? Sanwo-Iku now hosted him. Sanwo-Iku now pledged to work with Tunde to help Tunde put some out-of-school children in school. Isn't that ironical? Irony of life. The governor of the state with over 2 million out-of-school children pledging to help a private citizen who went to go and raise some money so that he can put some children that the government failed to put in school, he can put them in school. Then the government turned around and said, oh, we will make sure we help you and support you and make sure we put the children you want to put in school, work together as a part. God damn it, man. And I gave you that. Sure you get. So it's ridiculous that Tunde wants to do the job of government and the government is very happy to partner with him. When I say partner, right, it simply means that they will write him a check. Tunde Onokoya Foundation for Children's School Fees. And Tunde will use the money and send the number of them that could go to school. But as a government could send everybody to school without Tunde. And Tunde can focus on something else. Okay? But here we are. The government says they will work with. Well, as they say, right? Until they happen for Nigeria, they happen for Ghana. If you haven't been to Ghana before, I could take you there right now and show you some madness there. But for a few seconds, you will see Ghana police, you will see Ghana drug dealer. And then you see the way they rap, and a lot of, I mean, this can probably bring some, nostalgic feelings or remembrance to you. Then catch this guy during a stop and search. Alaye dropped the bag of Igbo way in the carry. Can't run away. They catch him. And this happened.
You small boy. You small boy. The business you do, you small boy. You be little baby. Little. But why the rat? Why the rat?
Why they run?
Why you the run? Why you the run? Why are you running? That's what I say. Anyway, Sha, I think that would be us. Because I didn't take calls, okay? So that's going to be us. And I want to say a big thank you to all of you who joined me tonight. I was initially practicing out these two cameras, so to say, right? But it's, something that's a bit strange. Sorry about that. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I am going to see you some other time, okay? We are nearly 1,800 of us on YouTube, but only 600 or 500 of you could actually pay their offering. Don't leave this broadcast without liking the video. At least that's the least you can do. I will see you some other time. Enjoy the rest of your evening or day. And good night from here.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun Diary Diary Politico. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Maiyegun number one. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì àní ẹ̀ súnra kì lórí Facebook àní ẹ̀ súnra kì lórí YouTube àní ẹ̀ súnra kì bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́ àní ẹ̀ súnra kì ijó ìgbádìyẹ àní ẹ̀ súnra kì bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o àní ẹ̀ súnra kì bí gómìnà kówó jẹ àní ẹ̀ súnra kì ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá àní ẹ̀ súnra kì aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o àní ẹ̀ súnra kì òkúra olóṣèlú àní ẹ̀ súnra kì ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì àní ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o ayé.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o ákàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní.